Welcome back to another short and sweet in September. I'm Megan. Please remember to subscribe and thank you to my patrons for sponsoring me. Today's practice is for your neck and your shoulders. We're going to do a couple things standing, and you'll need 2 blocks and a ball. The ball can vary in size from tennis ball to bigger or smaller. And then we're going to get down on the ground. We'll do a lovely myofascial release for the neck. And we'll finish in a position where you'll be relaxed on the ground to increase respiration and allow your chest and your shoulders and your neck to open and relax. So come to a standing position with me. And the first thing we're going to find is what is internal and external rotation of the arms. So if you'd like to do it to your breath, take a breath in. And as you breathe in, roll your arm bones away from your heart and recognize that your arms are an extension of your heart. As you breathe out, roll your arm bones in toward your heart. So what we're finding here is as we inhale is external rotation. And as we exhale, internal rotation. Just notice how that feels for what I call the bony landmarks, your collarbones in the front. Feel that stretch as you go back into external rotation. And as you come forward, feel the stretch in your shoulder blades, the bony landmarks on the back. Keep your neck in a nice soft position, jaw relaxed. Just doing a few more of those to your breath. Let's play a little more with the internal and external rotation. Take the ball into your left hand and start to externally rotate. So the ball will point upward, and then lift your arm as high as you can, but also bring the side body, lift your rib cage. Then once you're up there, you're going to begin to internally rotate. Notice how your shoulder comes towards your collarbone. There's some compression there, and take it back down. Slowly go behind your back, hand it off. Once you've got the hand off there, it's the baton handoff. Then externally rotate with the opposite arm. Lift it up as high as you can go. Go really slow. Let the rib cage and the armpit follow. Internally rotate the arm so it's like you're putting in a light bulb or turning a doorknob. Then take it down and behind you. So you'll know that you're doing it right. Don't worry about doing it wrong, because if you're internally rotated and trying to lift, it won't happen. So you're externally rotating, lifting up, and then once you're up there, internally rotate, take it back down. We'll finish this last one that we're doing, and then we're going to add the head on. So externally rotate, lift up, reach, and then imagine turning that light bulb so your arm's engaged, internally rotate, take it back down. Here's how we add the head. Externally rotate, and this is the one that's good for the neck. Lift it up and watch it. Look all the way up at the ball for your throat stretch, and then imagine you don't want to see what's in your hand and look away. Look down at the floor just for a moment. Reach so your hand's reaching up towards the sky, your forehead or your nose is going down towards the floor. Then begin to internally rotate and then look right at that shoulder. So you're looking back the other way. So you kind of feel compressed between your chin, your shoulder, and your collarbone. They're all squeezing towards one another. Keep that there as you hand the ball off. And then start to externally rotate. Lift up the opposite arm. Release the left shoulder. Look up at the right shoulder. Hold it there. Look away from the right shoulder. Feel that little stretch through the right side of the neck. And then as you start to internally rotate and come down, you're watching the ball again. It's like you can see the ball. You want to know what's in the hand. Feel that compression. So I like to think of the right shoulder coming forward towards the collarbone. Pass it off. Keep it there. And then slowly start to externally rotate. Lift up. I hope you're following me. Look at the ball. And then look away from the ball. Opposite side. Begin to internally rotate. Start to watch the ball again. So let the head of the arm bone come towards the collarbone. That left side of the neck is short. Switch hands. Right side. So hopefully you've got this little dance here now. Look up. Reach, look away. Don't want to know what's in that hand after all. Oh, maybe you do. Internally rotate it. Take it down. Follow the hand with the gaze. Feel that. So your left arm's relaxed. Feel the stretch through the back of the left of the neck. Take it all the way behind you. We'll do one more round now that we have this pretty little dance going. Externally rotate, lift up. Let your gaze follow the ball. Look away from the ball. Don't want it. Don't know what it is. Oh, but yes, I do want to know. Look up at it. Internally rotate. Kind of bring that compression to the front of the shoulder. Feel the back of the shoulder open up. Watching until you hand off the ball. Relax the left shoulder. Externally rotate the right. Start to take it up. Lift all the way up. Look at the ball. Look away from the ball. And then start to internally rotate and follow the ball with your eyes. You can let that right shoulder come forward towards the collarbone, like you're still looking down. Feel the stretch through the back of the left neck, and then relax. Okay. Done with the ball. Milo's sleeping, or I'd give it to him. Now we're going to do a little bit with waking up the muscles in the arms, but also moving the shoulder blades. So I'm going to ask you to take a block between your hands, and instead of holding the block with your fingers, take the palms of the hands to the block and press in with the palms and sort of fan your fingers off. So really the part of the hand it's the palm of your hand touching, the fingers are off, and push a little bit. Just push into that block. So now that we're doing that, draw your shoulder blades down your back just a little. So instead of the shoulders caving forward, shoulder blades down. So press into the block to feel some engagement in your arms. And then you're just going to begin to make little circles. Just tiny little circles. And watch your head and neck. Can you keep your neck relaxed and your jaw? And feel your shoulder blades and your collarbones moving. So you're creating some sensation by pushing into the block with the palms of the hands, making those circles. I'm getting some nice cracks. Go the opposite direction if you want. And as you noticed, a lot of these, I'm doing them standing, but you can also do them seated, at least this one. Going around in circles, just waking them up. And then we'll relax. So this one helps to build strength too. The next hand position we do is we create an L with the thumb and index finger and squeeze the rest of the fingers. So you're going to take that L to either side of the block. Push in again. So this is to engage the arms. We push into the block. So you're creating resistance between the block and your hands. And now I'm going to start to lift straight forward as far as I can go comfortably. A little bit at a time. Again, I'm watching that my shoulders aren't coming forward. I'm going to draw my arm bones into the shoulders. So plug the arm bones into the shoulder joints and go as high as you can, really slowly. Challenge yourself. Watch that your elbows aren't bending. So hug the arm bones, press into that block, and slowly come back down. We'll just do this one 3 times. Take your time. Knees are soft. Keep your neck relaxed. Push into the side of the block with the hands. Go up really slow. This one can help to increase mobility, but you're also finding the muscles to support the shoulder joint. And can you do that keeping your neck relaxed? Really important. Take it down slowly. You can even imagine if you had a tray and you're holding that tray. Last one, squeezing with the hands, slowly lifting up. Keep the neck and jaw relaxed. Go as high as you can. Pushing into the block with the palms, hugging your arm bones. Maybe take this last one and hold for just a few breaths. So even if you're down here a little bit, that's okay. Hug the inner arm bones. Soften the shoulder blades down your back. Relax your neck. And then before we leave this one, gently tip, I'm going to take this down for a moment, release it for a moment. There's tilting the head forward and there's tucking the chin, or I think moving from the nose. So what we want to do is not dump the head forward, but make the back of the neck long. So this last one we do, we're going to add that lengthening of the neck. So press into the block one more time. Squeeze it. Lift up as high as you can go comfortably. Base of the skull is still over the sacrum right now until you get up to wherever you want to stop. And then slowly think of your nose. Tilt your nose towards your chest so the back of the neck gets long, as opposed to dumping the head in front of the arms. So my ears are still in line with my arms or somewhere around there. Just stretch the back of the neck for a few breaths. So you can feel that coming all the way up to the base of the skull right there. One more breath. And lift the head back up and take the block down. So that one can really help with head forward. Roll your shoulders for a moment because we're going to do another one that's similar. I want to give them a little release. Back to that hand position, and this will help you to build strength for your hands too. It's great for arthritis in the hands. So same hand position, but now I'm going to change my elbows. I'm going to bend my elbows to my sides, and I want to keep the elbows in the same line of the shoulders. So in other words, we don't want the elbows flapping out like wings to the sides. You want to hug your elbows towards your side body. And I'm going to create that resistance again, pushing the thumb and index finger into the block. I'm going to draw those shoulders back so I can feel both my collarbones and shoulder blades. And same thing, just slowly lifting up, but keeping this L shape now. So we're going up like this. If you do yoga, there's certain postures we do that call for this position in the arms, even chaturanga, and then slowly come back. Just explore your range of motion, but this is what I call an active range of motion, right? You're creating resistance. You feel your muscles hugging the bones in your arms and your shoulders. Neck is relaxed. You should be able to shake your neck, soften your jaw, go as high as you can. And even though the block is just between my hands, I imagine that I'm also hugging my inner elbows as if you had a block there as well. Let's do one more here. Squeezing that. And can you feel it a little bit differently than when the arms were straight? Take it up to your end point. We'll hold there. And once again, as opposed to dumping the head forward, tuck the chin towards the chest and lengthen. Or I like thinking moving from the skull. Bring the skull slightly forward, back of the neck long. Feel that space right in the base of the skull. As the neck lengthens, sense your shoulders, upper back opening up. And then bring the head back. Slowly release the block. A lot of work, right? You can roll your shoulders around. Go. Another one we're going to do with the block behind us. So now we take the block. And with this one, you can just take the palms to the block. But again, it's not grabbing it with my fingers. It's pushing in with the palms. So if your elbows need to bend, go ahead and do that. You might be up here more. That's okay, but do your best to try to draw the block. So squeeze the block, push into it with the palms of the hands, and then draw it down towards the ground. Push it down towards the ground. That right there will create some sensation. And then we're going to very slowly take it away from the body. Probably can't go far. And back. And this one, watch your posture again, that we don't dump our head forward or around our spine. You want to stack the ears over the shoulders and the shoulders over the hips. And what I call your juicy center, your diaphragm's right in the middle there. Just little movements. Push in, take it away, and then release. Push in, take it away. So nice little strengthening going on. This is one that I was really surprised the first time I did it to find out how much stronger my one shoulder was than the other. You can feel your tricep muscles on the backs of your arms. And then we'll do a delightful little neck stretch with this one. So next time you're reaching out just a little bit, slide the block towards your left hip. And then you're still pushing in both hands into the block. Keep pushing, particularly that left arm, but draw the left shoulder down towards the ground or left elbow towards the ground. And then you're going to slowly, so with the block at the left, dip your ear towards your right shoulder, right ear to right shoulder. And here you might find that nice, I'm going to remove just for a moment, that nice line right in the back of the neck on that left side. Stretch it out. And you're bringing the ear towards the shoulder, but if you'd like, you can slightly go back and forth like you're nodding yes. Just a little bit of a nod. And see if you can find that space. This is one of those muscles that can really cause tension headaches. In fact, I was rubbing mine earlier today. Squeeze that block. And you might even gently nod no, or move your jaw. Release that left jaw. Slowly lift your head back to the center position. Let go of the block for a moment. Feel free to swim your arms a little. Move your shoulders. Last one, we'll do that to the opposite side. So taking the block behind you, create the force first. Push your hands into the block. Then begin to take the block over towards your right hip as far as you can go. So you might be here. That's okay. Taking the left hand to your back. You can even push your left arm into your back. Push your right hand into the block and draw your right elbow downward. So you're drawing your right shoulder downward. Then once you find all that, begin to bring the left ear to the left shoulder. Stop wherever it feels good. We're not pushing it. Just opening that space from underneath the right ear to the outer right shoulder. Maybe a gentle little yes movement. So you're going to find your sweet spot. The more your chin comes forward, the more it'll take the stretch to the back of the neck. The more you lift your chin, it'll take it more to the front. See where that sweet spot is for you. You can also slightly go side to side, especially when you're in that sweet spot. You might move your jaw. I'm moving my jaw just by talking. And you can voluntarily slide yours around. And then begin to lift the head back up and release the block. Okay, we're going to come down to the ground, and this is where you're eventually going to want the 2 blocks, but we'll start with just one because we're going to do our myofascial release for the neck. So with that block, you're going to want to put it on, I call it baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. You're going to want mama bear size. And it's going to go at the base of the skull. My ponytail may be in the way here. Right at the ridge of the skull. So the edge closest to you is going to go on the ridge of the skull. I'm going to encourage you to come down with your knees bent and feet on the floor so the back is relaxed, particularly the low back. Put that block right underneath there. You might have to adjust it a little bit. You want it flat. And feel as if your neck can sort of hang off the block. So give it time. Take your arms wherever they need to be to let the shoulders fall towards the ground and the back of the neck lengthen just by falling. But you want to feel just a little bit of that block coming into like the base of the skull, the top of the neck. And then we'll go to the left first. You're going to very slowly begin to turn your head to the left, as slow as you can go. And notice as you're doing that, if you feel almost like a ropey ridge, go over that ropey ridge, go a little bit further, the moon line further this way, and then come back and notice as you come back when you go over that ropey ridge. So sometimes these ropey ridges really stand out to me, and that's generally when I have a lot of tension in my neck. Fortunately today it's not too bad. So notice what you feel. Go a second time, slowly going as far as you can go. Shoulders keep relaxing towards the ground. Shoulder blades heavy. Collarbones are smiling. And come back again to the center. And then this third time, when we go over the ropey ridge, stop on the ropey ridge. And see if you can let your nose just fall towards your collarbones, the back of the neck fall. And sometimes I do tiny little rocking motion right on that ropey ridge. So releasing that upper trapezius muscle that comes right up there. And this can be a bugger when it comes to headaches, tension headaches. Just resting, and you don't have to be right on it. You can be next to it. Maybe just that little bit of movement. Take a few more breaths. Breathe in, expand through the chest. Breathe out, let your shoulders relax, let the neck be long. And focus on that left side of the neck. The muscles that support the back of the left side of the neck. Slowly take your head back to the center and pause at your center. Just feel. You may have to readjust the block. Feel free to do that. Let the neck be long again. Shoulder blades relaxed. And sometimes I find when I do the one side, I need to readjust my body. Like the lower body has something to say. So I needed to lift my tailbone and lengthen my spine a little bit. Feel free to do that. Now we'll go to the opposite direction. So slowly begin to turn your head towards the right shoulder. Okay, this ropey ridge for me is a lot ropier. Maybe you'll notice a difference. And slowly come back over it again. Back to the center. Once you arrive at center, do it again. Notice as you're going over the ropey ridge, but go beyond to the right. And you might also notice the stretch to the left side as you do that. Come back to center. And this time, as you roll towards the right, stop somewhere on that ropey ridge. Let your breath out, release and relax the weight of the shoulders towards the ground, the nose towards your chest. Just experience that ropey ridge, maybe tiny little pulsation movements back and forth, or even up and down a little bit. Little goes a long way. You're massaging that muscle, but you're also just compressing it, letting the weight of the skull fall into the block. Neck lengthening. Take a few more breaths. And roll the head back to the center position. Take a moment at center. Before we come out of this, we want to engage the muscles in the front of the throat. It's a type of counter pose, but it also protects your neck. So draw your bottom of your chin down towards your chest. You'll feel the muscles in the front of the throat shorten. They'll kind of stick out. Keep those active. Lift the block out. And then slowly let the head come down, feeling those muscles. Hold it. It'll feel like your head's falling into a bottomless pit. Once it does, let it come all the way down. Release and relax the muscles in the neck. You can gently move your head from side to side, roll your shoulders. I'm going to finish today with I won't say restorative, but a supported posture that helps to open the chest and the lungs. And I'm going to give you the option to stay here longer, but I'm going to put you into it and just tell you a little bit about something I was thinking about today. So we're going to need both blocks for this one. And depending on where you are, as far as if you like to do back bends, what your spacious awareness is of your front body, you may take the first block on the lowest setting, and that's what I would recommend. And it goes right behind the space at the bottom of the shoulder blade. So we don't want to be in the center of the back. We don't want to be all the way up to the upper back, I can't find it, the upper back, but right at the bottoms of the shoulder blades. And you can adjust it so it feels right for you. And then keep the second block handy because that's going to go under your neck. So right underneath the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, my shoulder blades are supported. It's like my shoulder blades are on a plate. And then the second block, you can either put on that same height, or I like to put it a little bit higher to get the head a little bit higher with that tuck in the chin. Again, I encourage you, instead of extending the legs, if you do want to extend them, you could put a blanket or bolster underneath you, but maybe bend your knees and even let the inner knees fall together. Lift and lengthen your low back. So now we have both curves in the back. Your low back curve and your neck curve are long. And just let the neck fall, let the low back fall. So I start with my hands on my body, particularly on my heart, and think of the heart as the connection point for your hands and your arms. So your hands and your arms are an extension of your heart. Your shoulders are what protects your heart. And the neck is the superhighway between the heart and the head. So sometimes we have traffic jams there. So I had the opportunity this morning, very fortunate, to go to the beach. And I have a ritual where I pick up pieces of glass when I'm there, sea glass. And I've been doing this for a little while, and I've gotten a bit stingy to where I'm only trying to pick up the big pieces of glass now. I'm really looking hard for the big ones. And about halfway through, I thought that's a little bit sometimes like life, is that we're always looking for those things that are big and shiny, and they're easier to see. They're more pronounced to us in our life, right? They're really happy big things. But what if I just go back to looking for those tiny pieces of glass? And there's so many of them, and those little moments of happiness, right, that aren't so prominent in our lives. So you can take yourself to the beach with me and pick up some sea glass. Breathe into your heart. If you want more expansion through your arms could come out to your sides or even into a W shape. We'll be here for a few more minutes. And how can you allow your heart to be filled? So if your heart were like my bowl, I'm going to show you. If your heart were like my bowl of sea glass, how can you let your heart be filled not only by the very large pieces of sea glass, but it can be filled just as quickly by all the small little things that warm our heart, that bring us joy. They all fill up the bowl. And staying in this position, I'm going to leave you in silence for the next minute. What is it that fills your heart bowl with shininess and happiness? Are you waiting for just the big things, or can you fill it with the little things? If you'd like to stay here longer, you absolutely can. When you are ready to come out, once again, we're going to want to be cautious of the head and the neck position. So tuck your chin slightly toward your chest, engage the muscles in the front of the throat. Then rather than sitting up, just let your head come off and roll to one side, coming onto whichever arm you're turning onto that side. Use that arm as a pillow. And please pause on your side for a moment, just for a second to rest in your fetal curl. If it feels good to gently move your head or sort of take some movements through your spine, you can arch and curl your spine. Using the strength that we found in the arms to push yourself back up. Leave the head completely relaxed until you're up, and see if you want to take your palm and push your head back up. Use your beautiful hand to lift your head. Lift your head so that you can see me and I can see you. And I can see you through your comments. Leave me comments. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Thanks for coming to get some sea glass with me, and I hope your heart is filled with shiny things. Peace, joy, love, and light.